Hello everyone, I am Landric and I am back again with another episode of Landric Plays Hand of Fate.
Do you have what it takes to defeat the rats?
That is right, the rats. We are now facing the Jack of Plague, who is a giant rat, because of course he is. So the Jack of Plague introduces the following curse to our, well, not to our deck, but to our character. Twice the fail. The player loses 5 gold for every fail, and 10 gold for every huge failure chance card. Not the end of the world, but not great. And he also adds 3 Ratmen hunting challenges and 3 angry mobs.
Ah, the rats. They have swarmed up from the dark places beneath the realms of humanity and now squat amongst your cities and feast and shriek and hunt and writhe.
Well, they sound very pleasant indeed, don't they? So let's get rid of the Winding Trail, the Ambush, and Dead Man's Gorge, and the Devil's Choice. And do we want to keep Mr. Lionel around? Do we want to keep the river around? We'll see what else we might replace it with, because I think... Yeah, actually we need all 4 of these anyway, so Devil's Wager, the Desert Storm. I don't know if the Field of Poppies is any good. I have a feeling that this one's actually not great, but we'll put it in anyway just because we've not seen it before. And the Smuggler's Wharf, which we've not seen either. So the local peasant, yep, still gets flagged as new because we haven't seen this one yet. So even though it's been in our deck for the last 2 maps, it's not actually come up, so we get this reminder. Good. So 20 out of 20. I've taken out the cards that are boring and that we've seen before, and let's have a look at our equipment as well before we get started. So Desperate Measures, Frostfang, and the Huge Hammer. We haven't really got any weapons that we might want to replace those with, and a couple of shields. So again, there's nothing really we want to swap out. Like, there are certainly things we don't need in here, like Damocles I'm not that fond of. We certainly don't need all of these helmets, but then again, the more helmets we have, the more chance we have of one of them showing up, so it's probably fine. We could again play with some of the modifiers, but I'm going to keep it on default mode. If I do another series of this, I might play around with some of these different modifiers. Cool. Right, let's get started then.
Our Lord of Plague does like to rub your nose in misfortune.
I still feel the odds are not quite in our favour, playing cards against a man who can do this. But it's probably fine, right? He seems totally trustworthy. Okay, let's have a look at the path we've got. So again, it's still quite linear, but at least it's in an interesting shape this time, so we'll go with this card. It's the Twisted Canyon again, hurrah! So, we see a weapon glinting at the bottom. Can we climb down and get it? So, we've got his... we have the Dealer's Cup, which means our starting gear is increased. I don't know if this will affect our climb down to the bottom, or how difficult the chance cards are going to be, but, well, I guess we're about to find out. So still the same number of success and failures. How quickly do they get shuffled?
A choice.
Totally
Select
fine.
your desire.
There we go, so they're still easy enough to follow at this stage. So, we climb down, we get our equipment, and we get a weapon. So we flick through a lot. I don't know if these get shuffled back into the deck or whether they now count as being discarded and can't come up again, because there was certainly a lot of cards there that will have been wasted if that's the case. Desperate Measures, so 32 damage. It's holy, which means it's good against undead. We're not particularly against any undead. They might still crop up. If we find something that's good against Ratmen in particular, then we'll have to keep an eye out for that.
As pleases you.
Aha, so we've encountered the Maiden again, but this time she has this token from Mr. Lionel on it, because Mr. Lionel asked us to get a lock of elven hair to help him work his magical amulet.
Win this and claim my token.
So, we... I think I double-clicked there by mistake, but Merith has shown up and greeted us, and Mr. Lionel has need of some elven hair. So we could take a swing at the elf maiden's hair with a dagger. Let's not do that. That seems a terrible idea. Let's ask nicely. The maiden considers this for a moment before slicing a few strands from her hair. As you wish, but be cautious, mortal. You have the taint of a goblin about you, and they may never be trusted. Well, fair enough. See, asking nicely gets you places. We get the token, and we get some advice. Sharp-eyed adventurers protect themselves from the worst of Lady Luck's contrary nature.
Your prize.
So we advance on to the next stage of this story arc, but that'll have to wait until the next champion. Ah, the river.
How will you cross this time?
So we can attempt to cross the river or turn back. I think if we turn back, we will actually just move back this way, so we have to try and cross it. Let's see if we can get across, even... I wasn't paying attention, I was only following the other one. I can't remember if this is good or bad. I think it's bad. Let's... Aha, it was. Good. So it's a success. It's not a huge success, but it is a success. We're still only wearing the light armour. So we reach the other side, cold and wet, but unharmed. Though we don't get any trinkets from the bottom. But, you know, that's fine. So we've come across the shop. We only have 10 gold. I'm not sure it's worth stopping to shop with only 10 gold, so we'll pass it by, and we'll hope we find another shop when we've got more loot in our pockets. Oh, we found a helpful priest.
Priests, gods, and eternal damnations. I have no truck with any of it.
Do you not? So you meet a wandering priest who greets you in a friendly manner. For a small share of your provisions, I will bless you in the name of the old gods. That... okay. So we can give the priest half of our food. So we've got 15 food, so I don't know whether it'll round up or down, but that'll probably... Well, it'll be tight, but I reckon we'll still have enough to make it. And if not, we'll probably pick up some extra food on the way. So yeah, sure, let's give him half of our food for a blessing. So we can get a success or a huge success. So let's see if we can keep an eye on this one. Okay, so all we know is it's not this one, so let's guess here. Ah, well. He says a few words in the language of the old religion and gently touches your forehead. It is done. Draw one blessing card. So we've got a blessing and a token, so maybe if we'd have got the huge success we'd have got more than one blessing. So this gives us Holy Touch.
Blessings will remain always active and are never removed. Unless you die, of course. Then you're back where you began, as always.
So we are blessed. We have a Holy Touch, which means any undead that physically strike the player may receive damage themselves. So, you know, it's not super helpful because we don't... Well, I don't expect we're going to come up against a lot of skeletons. Certainly there won't be any in the final encounter. But it's not bad. It's better than a curse. And we got the token, so maybe we'll get another sort of tier of that card.
Every step you take consumes food, but you will also heal as you proceed. Each of these cards is crafted from your memories and built from your experience. I created them, but only in the abstract. It is the importance you place on them that makes them real.
There we go. So here we have 9 cards on this level of the dungeon, or map, or area, or whatever you want to call it. And we only have 6 food. So I do kind of want to zigzag and sort of explore all of them. But we're going to have to be careful that we don't run out of food, because we will start losing health quite quickly if we do. So, Travelling Jeweler. Still only 10 gold. Not sure that's going to be enough for any jewels. Aha, Mr. Lionel again. Blah blah blah. Poorly disguised goblin, blah 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 blah. Tell us what you need. So we could give him the bread from our plate, but this time I actually am a little bit concerned about how much food we've got, so we'll just ask him what he needs, and hopefully he'll give us a shield. Ooh, hang on, what? I know what you need. He reaches behind your ear and pulls out a money bag heavy with coins. Magic is believing in yourself. If you can do that, you can make anything happen. Did he just take our weapon? So we get 20 gold.
I'm sure you're grateful for that.
25 gold. 15 gold. And another 15 gold. So it's sitting on 85 gold. So Mr. Lionel has strode off, but he's taken a...
You can always review your cards here.
So we've lost our weapon. Well, at least we still have the axe. So I guess because we already have the shield, now Mr. Lionel won't give us that for free. He'll give us some gold, but he'll do it in exchange for the... Okay. Alright, fine. That's a thing that we have learnt. So we could double back to this shop now, but also we only have 4 food, so I think we're going to have to press on. The Song of the White Minotaur.
A challenge for you, and a token if you succeed.
Aha, so we've seen this before. So that the bard goes around singing songs at the end, and at the end he comes to us and he tells us about a white minotaur that is apparently the strongest minotaur ever and has lots and lots of treasure. And then he tells us that it's not a myth, and for a small donation he will tell us something about it. So let's see. Let's go for this one. Huge Valiant Dam, which will cost us some gold because of the curse.
Your provisions are running low. Can you press on?
And he will only tell us in exchange for all of our gold. No. So the last time we saw this card, we failed and he said it would cost 15 gold. Now he'll take all the gold in our pockets. Absolutely not. Maybe this card will come up again later, and we'll either succeed or we'll just have less gold in our pockets. But right now, I need this gold, because I think I'm going to need to buy food soon.
We play for a token now.
So, this is... we were sent here by Carlo, who was telling us about the Kraken. Norwich Port is little more than wooden planks sticking out over water. It is a den of iniquity. Visitors and inquiries are obviously not welcome. You spend your time getting acquainted with the workings of the wharf, looking for avenues to gain information. You have found 3 ways you might find out about the missing ships: steal some logs, bribe a worker, or help a captain drown his sorrows. So we could just take presumably the easy option and pay money to get information. We've got plenty of gold sitting around for that. Or we could drink with a captain or steal a ship's log. I imagine each of those will have their challenges. Let's try stealing the log. Okay, so fail, 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 or huge success. Let's go with this one. Damn. And that'll cost us some more gold because of the curse. Your attempted thievery is ill-timed and clumsy. You are quickly surrounded by the displeased denizens of the wharf. So, presumably we're going to get some bandits. And as you can see, each of these cards has these little pips on it now, which means they have been upgraded by the goblet. So bandits, I think, now have throwing knives. So let's be on the lookout for that. So we do have our shields still, so we can not only block them, but aim them back at whoever threw them at us, which... There we go, like that. So I think we're still doing okay. It'd be nice to have that that really good weapon, wouldn't it? Oh well. There we go. So we still took them up with little trouble. But I'm still kind of miffed that we're missing that weapon. Ah, so we didn't get the token. So even though we saw this card, because we failed the challenge, we didn't get the token. That's a bit of a shame. Oh dear, angry mob. So this is because
so quick to anger. That's what makes them a mob, really.
Is it? I love this guy's comments. So because we're up against the Jack of Plague, we've got the angry mob. As you approach the small town of Witchburn, I wonder if that's got anything to do with the angry mob. An angry mob of peasants marches forth and confronts you. The rat men have eaten all of our food. We're starving. I can give them half of our food, but I only have 1. I can give them nothing, or I can try and avoid the crowd. Well, I can't give them anything, so I guess let's avoid them. Get him, somebody cries. Alright, success fail. Let's try this one. Success! I am terribly sorry they're starving, but I literally don't have any food now. Ha! Alicia in the underworld.
Again, a token is at stake.
So, last episode we got thrown into a magical portal to the underworld and fought some flaming rat things. Let's see what we're doing this time. As you attempt to discover more about the bizarre portal you encountered, one name keeps recurring. A mystic named Alicia. Apparently her expertise on all aspects of Shadow Realms, interdimensional travel and beasts of the void is unparalleled. You track Alicia's caravan. She travels under the guise of a fortune teller. Her appearance doesn't match the whispers about her. She is considerably shorter and has much more of a beard. She audibly clears her throat before speaking to you. Welcome, stranger. She recoils in mock blindness. The dark clouds of fate swirl around you in a tempest. For a little gold, I can help you see your future through the storm. Do we want to pay 3 gold? I mean, we've got 70, we could easily pay 3, but no, we're interested in finding out more about the underworld. The mystic looks around nervously before saying, "Now what makes you think I'd know anything about such things? I am but a humble fortune teller. Can I not interest you in such services?" Okay, let's pay the 3 gold. Ah, huge success or failure again.
Choose from these options.
Let's try this one this time. Hooray! Huge success. I'm making a note here. The mystic's eyes flash wide open. Your fortune is awash with death and destruction, but there is also hope. You carry fortune's favour with you. How may I aid you in your endeavours? Well, I did ask you about the underworld.
Food is crucial for healing.
I know.
If you travel without food, your strength will not be restored between encounters. You'll also begin to starve. It seems you'll learn that soon enough, though.
Yeah. To someone with such a powerful aura as yours, I could tell of what I know. The price for such information, though, would be high. Sadly, I see you have nothing I desire, no powerful magical artifacts. Perhaps if you return with one, I would be more forthcoming. So all of that for nothing, because we don't have any artifacts. See, I would happily pay an artifact for that knowledge if I had one. Alright, so we lose 9 health.
The greater the risk of starvation. Now you begin to trespass upon the Ratmen's hunting grounds.
You stumble upon a Ratmen hunting party. Prepare to defend yourself. So we draw the 4 of Plague. Look at the little Ratmen.
Plague by name and plague by nature. The rats leave behind a deadly toxin.
Alright, let's try and avoid that deadly toxin. That's not fair, I definitely fixed that. Let's try and avoid those smoky green clouds. Back. There we go. Ratmen defeated. Alright. Please tell me they had some food on them. Hooray! We recover some food from the rat carcasses. Hopefully we're not chowing down on rat carcass, but you know what? I think we're at the stage where we probably would have to. So let's go down here. Didn't we reveal this card? Must not have. Forest Escape.
Roaming ever forward, hunting for the truth.
So this is essentially the exit to this level of the dungeon, and we could take it, because if we go this way, we'll spend a food and then have to spend another food backtracking, but let's do it, it might be worth it. So it gives us some more health just by dint of being able to eat now, and also it gives us this card, so hopefully there's something valuable at the end of this.
As you plunder the secrets of your memories, you'll gain new cards. Some you'll wish you'd left untouched.
One day, as you travel through a forest, you come across a band of thugs standing on the roadside. As you draw near, they move to block your path. This would be because we angered the White Council. So we get 2 monster cards, the 2 of Dust and the 3 of Dust. Hand over half your gold, stranger, for passing through this forest. The White Council demands it. Okay, so they're not here specifically for us. They're just collecting a toll. No. The White Council doesn't like armed mercenaries wandering through their land, the man says, as his goons close in around you. Well, what are you doing wandering through their land, then? Let's get them. So we... Ooh, there's a couple of traps. Yep, there we go. So I think I said before, I have a habit of wandering straight into all of these traps, but, you know, that's just the way that it's going to be, I think. Luckily they seem to be wandering into their own traps quite a lot as well. I don't know quite how much damage it does do to them. More of those throwing arrows. Block, kick, smash, smack, smack, smack. There we go. So we're definitely running low on, well, not running low, but we haven't picked up all that much equipment this run. So luckily we've been upgraded with the starting axe and the starting shield. But yeah, it's definitely going to get tougher before it gets easier. As you approach one of the fallen men, he says with some effort, "You'll regret this, there will be consequences," and he cuts off as his voice fails him. You notice a robed figure standing in the shadows of the forest. He waves his hand and a magical portal appears. Stepping through it, he is quickly gone. You look around to find that no trace of the fight remains. So we get a token, but no gain cards, so no equipment, no food. Ah dear oh dear. So let's get out of here, let's move to the next level.
An expedition. Press on.
Hopefully we get some more equipment.
Can you hear the way his claws scratch the tiles?
So hopefully we find some more equipment before we make it to the jack, and certainly before we run out of food again. Because if we're losing food the whole time that we are traveling, we are going to be in trouble. Okay, so we found a merchant. So I think the priest can give us blessings if we have enough gold. We might have enough gold. But at the very least, hopefully he can sell us food. You also remove curses, so we could remove the twice the fail curse, but that's very expensive, and whoops, wrong button. I don't think we need to worry about it too much. Let's see what blessings we could buy. Can I click on it? There we go. So toxic blood, will of the gods, or arcane knowledge. So whenever the player uses an artifact, 30% chance of immediately reducing its cooldown. At the start of each combat, a random opponent is highlighted. If that creature is the first to die, then it pops out 5 gold. That doesn't really seem that worthwhile, to be honest, but I guess if you get it early on in an encounter, it'll, or rather early on in a dungeon, a level, whatever you want to call it, it'll mount up. And toxic blood. Any hit on the player during combat has a chance to poison the attacker. That one sounds quite good, but unfortunately we can't afford any of those unless we sell something. I'm much more worried about food, so we can spend 4 gold for 1 food, 11 gold for 3 food, or I'm going to go 18 for 5 food. And you know what, I'm actually going to do it again, just in case we get some events that lower our food. And while I'm here... yeah, we've got the gold for it, let's...
If you gain health, then I work harder to take it.
Let's buy that. I probably overhealed myself a little bit there, but it'll be fine. Another angry mob.
Once the ratmen begin to creep towards the edge of the town, anger follows shortly behind.
So I could give them half my food this time. Should I give them half my food? Like, if we're on the last part, we'll have... so that'll give us 5 left, so we'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, say. So let's gamble on either finding the Jack of Plague or some extra food in this section. Okay, so because we only gave them 5, they're a bit disappointed, but they don't try and kill us, which is something. I think if maybe we'd given them more, they might actually even be able to give us, like, some helpful hints. Aha, we found a local peasant. She's going to have food as well, isn't she?
War leaves nothing else.
While crossing a forest clearing, you meet a peasant woman. Greetings, stranger. The winter has been hard on my family this year. In the forest behind her, you sense movement. In exchange for some food, I will tell you everything I know about these lands. So we can give her 1 food, 2 food, or no food. Any other time this card... well, not any other time. Certainly not when we had 0 food, but... if I'd seen you before I'd seen the angry mob, of course I would help you out, but I'm afraid I have no food. So we get no token. Field of Poppies.
I have always felt a kinship to the puppy. Together we help you forget, and also recall.
Okay. You wander amongst a field of poppies, and too late you realise that the poppies are making you sleepy. Okay, so there's the Jack of Plague. I don't know whether these will get shuffled or not. Ah. You wake up groggy and disorientated. Okay, so we know what cards were there, but now they've been shuffled. Ah, a treasure chest.
A treasure chest? What more iconic emblem of success could we imagine?
None at all. While exploring a dungeon, you see a treasure chest at the end of a hall. We can approach the treasure chest or leave it. Of course the chamber's going to be trapped, isn't it? Let's approach. So 50-50. Let's see if it's trapped or not. Success. The hall is silent, so it wasn't trapped after all. So we approach the chest.
Let us stake a token on their foolishness.
So the treasure chest looks battered, but still intact. What treasure might it hold? Let's attempt to pry it open. So it looks like we stand a very good chance of this. Let's try this one. Success. After a mighty heave, the lock gives way and the spoils are ours. 4 gain cards. Fantastic, so we get some equipment, so we get a good shield.
A shield for the marathon, not the sprint.
So this one allows... this means every third encounter doesn't consume food, which would have been nice to have earlier. And it also means we have a shield stun attack. I don't know how useful that will be, but hey, it's better than nothing. We get the Damocles, which, again...
A knife for all, and mercy for none.
Certainly would have been nice to have that artifact beforehand, but oh well. Frostfang, now that I'm happy with. Absolutely will equip that. And one more equipment. A huge hammer, ooh.
Sometimes form follows function, and vice versa. In this case, it's called a huge hammer. You take a guess.
I love his comments. Let's see. So, 28 damage, this one does 35, and this one does increasing damage as we sort of chain together combos. And we can unleash a massive explosion with one. With the one key. It's holy, which doesn't help us that much compared to the ice, but I think we're going to have to go with the huge hammer.
Really?
Because it's a huge hammer.
What you're going to do?
Let's keep going this way. Ah, again, really?
Feast, famine, and everything in between.
Nope, sorry, no food. In fact, less food than I saw you the last time. Call for the priest. Hey, it's the priest again. Let's go buy even more food then. Hang on a minute. Does this mean that if we're shuffling the cards we've already visited back into this deck, we could find that poppy, field of poppies again? You know what, I'm just going to spend... Nope, can't even spend all my gold. But at least we're not going to starve. Probably. Unless we come across that angry mob again. But they're certainly not getting fed again. Oh no, so the field of poppies isn't shuffled in again, so that's alright. And we found the Jack of Plague anyway.
He awaits. Plague, and pestilence, and blood, and teeth.
Faster and stronger than normal rat men, this beast inspires all vermin around him to strike faster, the more damage he sustains. Interesting. So we, again, probably should kill his minions before we focus on him, because if we start doing more damage to him, his minions are going to hit us harder. Here is a beast who hates your kind, and has grown fat and evil with that hatred. The Jack of Plague will kill you and suck the marrow from your bones.
I will happily wager on
We'll see about that.
I do not think you have what it takes.
I'm certainly glad we found that treasure chest, because that's kitted us up relatively well, particularly with a hammer. I'm looking forward to using that hammer. And here is the Jack of Plague. So yeah, we'll go for his minions first. We'll try out that... okay, that wasn't off to the best start. Let's try and dodge some more of these attacks. These spear throwers are really annoying. Ah, dodge that one. Okay. Ooh, wow, he's got quite a lot of unblockable attacks. Let's use our Damocles on him, and that'll get in some hits. Let's see if we can get a stun. Ooh, there we go. Jack of Plague is no more. We'll take that card. That gets added to the cabinet, and we are one step closer to getting the next
Queens
of his
and
trinkets.
kings of the rat kind have lost a child here today. Here is your token. Well done. For slaughter, your reward.
Here we go, so the next step of Mr. Lionel's quest, we get Goblin King's Halls 2. For dealing with the helpful priest, we receive a gain card, so more health, an equipment card, the healer's ring, and charity, which presumably is like the next tier of that card. For defeating the White Council, we get, well, for standing up to them, we haven't defeated them yet. We have the next stage of that quest. For plundering a locked treasure chest, we get draw 2, select 1 to keep from the armory, and Fool's Gold, which I'm not sure what that is. I can't tell if that's a ring or a hat or what. As a reward for defeating the Ratman Jack, we get the Berserker Armor, Scorching Zeal, the Culling the Ratmen, the King of Dust, the Devil's Carnival, and the Embertown Hero. And we also get the new challenges. So we get Ratmen Hunting, which is stuck in our deck. Ratmen Hunting, which is stuck in our deck, and oh boy, more Ratmen Hunting, which is stuck in our deck. So we'll have to take a look at what will get those out of our deck.
I do not want to just sit here. Look at the cards you have earned. Now we have enough to begin a real game.
Interesting. Well, we will take another look at those cards next episode, but for now, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time.